Hello everyone and welcome back to AW Programming and Lectures. In today's lecture, we will cover pattern problem 7, that is this pattern, or you can say the Pascal's triangle. So let's begin. Now let's first declare our variables. So I'll write int I and j, which will be mainly used for printing our loops, and I'll initialize another variable that is k equals to 1, which will be used for printing my values. And now let's write our loop. So I'll write for I is equal to 0 and then I less than to be 5, and then I'll increment my I. So if you guys have watched my previous videos, whether it may be star or pattern, so you may know that the first loop which will be created inside the I loop will be used for printing spaces. So I'll write for j equal to be 5, and then I'll decrement my j. So sorry, then I'll just write j to be greater than I, and now I'll decrement my j. So after this is done, I'll just write printf, and in this printf I'll just print space between. So after this is done, I'll just initialize another j loop, which will be which will take care of our values. So I'll write j is equal to 0, and then j to be less than or equal to I, and then I'll increment my j. Now, for in this loop, the one thing you guys need to take care is you can see in the Pascal triangle that the first element of every row will always be 1. So I can write a condition if this you can say the first element. So first element can either be on the ith loop starting, so it can be I is equal to 0, or it can be in the beginning of jth loop. So I'll write or j to be equal to 0. So if this condition you can say becomes true, so then I'll just write to make my k equal to 1. Rest assured, I will just after this I'll just write to printf, and then I'll just you can say print my k. So I'll write %d and just write k over here. But this is not a complete code. It will only be printing the first element of each row, that is 111. But you need to take care of another part, which is the you can say the main part, and you can say the inside of the Pascal triangle. So for that, we'll just write another condition, which will be written in else part of the if else statement. So in this, I'll write if you can say sorry else k is equal to k multiplied with you can say I minus j plus 1, and then divided by j. So if you guys didn't get the formula, or you can say you didn't quite understand it, just bear with me and I'll explain it to you once we get the output. So I'll just write printf, and then I'll here write you can say slash n, which will be used for printing our values to the next line. So now let's run our code. So as you guys can see, we get the required output, but it's not as we expected. So let's just close it, and what I can do is I can just add a space over here to get the required output. So yes, now you guys can see we have got our required output. So so now let's discuss our output. So as you can see, this was our required output. So here you can see that first we declared our I to be equal to 0, and then we declared j to be 5, and then we printed spaces. So in this way we can get you can see that we got here 5 spaces. So after this is done, we also declared j to be equal to 0. So for the first space that we've got 1 over here, you can see that this condition satisfies, that is I is equal to 0 or j is equal to 0. Then that we have got k equals to 1, so this condition becomes true. So we'll just simply print k over here. So after printing this, we'll move we are you can see that we our first iteration of the loop gets completed, and we move to the next line. Similarly, for then I will become 1, and similarly we'll just print our spaces, and then j will become 0. So the first element will again be printed to be 1, and after that our j will become 2. So this condition will become false, and then we'll move to this condition. So if you guys can see, this condition, k will be our 1, so here will come 1, and after this the ith value will be 1, because we have moved to next iteration. So 1 minus 1 plus 1 will result in 1, which will be divided by 1. So this whole term will come out to 1, which will be multiplied by 1. So in a way k will come to be 1. So after this we will just print our k to be 1, and then we'll move to the next line. So in this way we'll just complete second iteration. So after that I will become third. So now we are talking about this, you can say I will become equal to 2. So now we are talking about this second iteration, in a way third iteration, which with I equals to 2. So in this, first we'll print spaces, and after this we'll just start with j equal to 0. So we'll just print 1 in the first element of the row. So after that we'll just move to the else part. So in this, watch, you can say listen carefully, because here our k is 1, so no changes over here. But in this our I will change, as this is the third iteration, but the value of I is second, because we started with 0. So value will be I minus 1, so that's why we have incremented 1 over here. So I plus 1, 2 plus 1 will become 3, and our j will be 2 1 only. So 3 minus, you can say, 1 is will be result in 2, which will be divided by 1 will result in, so this whole part will result in 2, and multiplied by 1 will also result in 2. So in this way we'll get a k equals to 2. So after this we'll just print our k, which will be 2. So in this way we'll just keep on getting our values. So thank you everyone for watching my video. So if you guys like my videos, please like, subscribe, comment, and